It's Sunday. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's 70 degrees outside. I decided I'm going to get out, of course. Sorry, I got the camera so close to my face. I was listening to the song 5705. I don't think I've ever heard it before. So the only one I remember it through, my life is Jenny, 87 something. What is it? 87309. Call Jenny for a good time. Anyway, but there's lots of things going out right now, especially over dealing with the royal family. And I got to thinking about that too. So we see the Wicked Witch is dead, right? So she leaves, and then the king takes over, rises up, and he's pretty much only king for a couple of years. And then I think it was Wallytron 101. This guy is subscribed to. He's got pretty good information. He's been, trying to look at some of the symbolism that they're using, what they're doing, and what Prince William's doing right now too, as well, and how he's acting, and where's Kate, and how they're saying, oh, Kate's here. Kate was with her mother, but if you look at the picture of Kate in the car with her mother, it doesn't even look like Kate. And actually, somebody was pointing out, it's going, well, where'd her mole go? Because I guess this lady doesn't even have the same mole on her face as Kate does. Just like they were, discovering about Joe Biden, his ears, from when the way his ear looks before he went into the presidency office, and then when he went into the president's office, all of a sudden his whole ears both of his ears are just completely different shapes. So interesting. And Alpha Tav. Now, when this solar eclipse happens, it puts this big A, and then you got 3 X's, right? Well, it's so interesting that, and it didn't dawn on me, but it's representing the word ax, AX, but in Hebrew, it's the beginning and the end. But then it also looks like it represents the Antichrist, right? Because X is like Christmas, they use X Mass for Christmas, Christ Mass. But there's going to be 3 X's laid over America, right? One up by Oregon, one by Texas, and one, I think, is Oklahoma or something like that. So if the X, see, that's interesting because the X is the 24th letter in English, but 2 + 4 is 6. So it would, people are looking at it as 6. Since there's 3 of them, 666, so they're saying Antichrist. But remember, I was telling you, the English gematria, the value of A in English is 6. B would be 12. C, so 6 times 3 is 18 for the value of C. D is the 4th letter, so it's 4 times 6 is 24. So that's another value system that the English gematria uses. So even, remember, I was telling you, English is the reverse of our original language, Hebrew. So that's another sign and clue that English is possibly the devil's language. And if you think about it, how they forced all these other countries to as well speak English. And here, us, we're born into this, right? We're born into this, and we don't know anything different until we start looking at the value system of each one. Because in Hebrew and Greek, alpha represents 1. So, and remember, Hebrew and Greek and Latin and Aramaic are the first four languages that God gave his children, right? And so you've got English is like the reverse language of the original language. So I guess that's what I was like trying to tell people about. You've got to recognize your own alphabet. You got to recognize, that English is possibly the one that's the wrong language. But again, we're in this age of stubbornness where it's like, oh, you're something conspiracy, whatever it is, and you don't know this, but it's right in front of our face. And that's why I was like, I don't even argue with people that do that anymore. And I wouldn't really argue with him, but I would go out of my way and copy and paste and research and show them where it's showing this and where it's at. And then now they don't. That's a long time ago. That was Hebrew. That was Greek. That was Latin. That was Arabic. That was back then. It's not today. But I guess people have to learn for themselves. And that just goes with the meaning of Gimel in Hebrew, which is the third letter. And that's the letter G, right? And it's representing. Oh, I just thought of something. I just seen something in my mind's eye. So in Hebrew, it's A, B, G, D, E, Z. Okay, that's how it's kind of written. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's Greek. Sorry about that. But Hebrew is A, B, G. So I want to go for the first three. Now, the G is it's kind of like ground. So you got a pyramid, right? Or a triangle, which has 1, 2, 3 sides. 3 brains. 3 seeds are planted into the ground. Our right foot, our center, our spine going down. Picture an invisible connection like a grounding. And then you got your right foot. Now, when you got the triangle, the 3-sided triangle, so it would be A, B, and G would go straight across as the bottom of the triangle for like ground level. And then we could look at G as geometry, considering, it's geometry. Arithmetic. That's kind of interesting. Arithmetic. And then you got Aramaic, right? I don't know. There's a whole meaning of the reasons why we had those original language and how we're brought forward today and how we're always distracted from looking at the original language. Because just from my experiences of the people on Facebook and sharing, they just overlook it. They don't even want to look at the calendar, or not the calendar, the layout of the Hebrew or Greek language alphabet. They just ignore it. It's like they don't even recognize it. Don't want to recognize it. They don't even want to recognize it in the Bible. And I think that's what's really kind of bizarre, right? Is that these people are so involved, say that they're such followers of Christ and so involved in Christ and God, but they refuse to look at his original language, right? Bullheadedness, parables, a pair of bulls, parables, bullheaded. I don't know, you know me. But anyway, I did have a dream last night. Still trying to figure it out. I was running around from place to place trying to get help because I was losing my vision. I was having a hard time seeing, and I had this little car. I borrowed somebody's car, and I have no idea why I borrowed someone's little small car. Kind of like a Cooper. It was a Mini Cooper car, and I couldn't see to drive. There was something that was going on with my vision. Um, it was causing a lot of chaos and panic, and I was asking people to help me. It's like I went to one of my friends, and actually this friend was from a long time ago when I was a child, my teenage years, and I was asking her to, I go, could you help me and take me back to my home, or I think that's what it was. And so she ends up taking me back to her house, and I think she's having an argument with her husband or boyfriend. And I'm asking her, I'm like, why did we come here? Can you take me? And she said, oh, I can't. I'm too busy right now. I'm in a conversation. So I was stuck there. And then I think it was her daughter, which she didn't have a daughter at that time, but she referred her as her daughter. And I was asking her to take me back to my house. And she's like, no, I can't. I've got to figure out what's going on with my mom and the dad or something. I don't even know what term she used, but she was focusing on them, and I was sitting there, trying to get out. And I eventually left, and I ended up in this like big warehouse, what looked like a big warehouse. And I woke up. It's so interesting. That's why I was like, well, this is the only thing I can remember. And what was going on with my eyes? I don't know. It was just wild because it was like I can see fine, and then everything would get blurry. But I wouldn't totally lose my sight. I could still see, but it would just get blurry. And then it would clear up, and then it would get blurry, and then get clear up. But now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it was when it was going blurry, I was ending up going, I think every time it went blurry, I found myself somewhere else. I don't know, pretty bizarre. Maybe more had come to me, or maybe not. I don't know. But I'll go through these periods where I'll just remember it was like, I think it was Thursday night and Friday night. I woke up around midnight, both those times, waking up saying the golden child, and having a chaotic of people acting like they're doing a witch hunt looking for this child. And then some people are questioning, well, is it even a child? He's probably an adult right now. So now, some people are out looking for a child, and some people are out looking for an adult, and they're just all chaotic all over the place looking for this. And it doesn't seem like it's a good, they're in fear of this child, or they have to capture this child or something like that. I don't know. I can't even tell you. The sense that I've got for it is that they were out to do harm to this child. And who these people were, I don't know, but they were just in mobs. And now that I think about it, I think it was the sense that this golden child was going to take away their world, take away their ways of being, especially the corruption and that type of thing, taking away probably the evil's games. And that's why they were after this child. But anyway, I left a comment on somebody else's channel thinking maybe someone would have insight on, that vision. And this guy gave me some really good insight. He goes, yes, I know who you're talking. He goes, I know what that means. The golden child is Christ, is obviously representing that Christ is already here right now, and the people, the negative people on the planet are in chaos. They're freaking out because they know what he's going to bring. So, which makes sense because we can already see the dark being chaotic and rushing through all this stuff, right? And then now, I got to looking at King Charles, how long he was in, actually as a king, and then are they going to transfer kingship over to Prince William's? Because it was today that I think that Wallytron 101 was saying that the BBC got word for a special announcement coming out of the royal family. But then he said it also could be, the special announcement could be something about Kate Middleton too. But that is interesting. And what else I want to bring up too is I think it's abdominal surgery or something like that. Because remember, the Pope just a few months back just went through to an emergency abdominal surgery, and she has went through one. It makes me wonder how many other people recently had to go in for an emergency abdominal surgery, and what does that mean? Is that some type of code? But I looked it up, and I guess they go in and they remove part of your colon. Very interesting. But I wonder if it's also a word used for a certain meaning for certain energies. I don't know. But anyway, just throwing out some stuff to you. I got to stop moving that camera so close to my face. It's because I get comfortable with my arm and I keep moving it. Have a great St. Patrick's Day, everybody.